these white lies got me hypnotized. Get out of my head, get into my bed, I'm broken. It's only a matter of time, shifting my paradigms. You hold me, you hurt me, I'm sinking and drowning, and I don't deserve it. Your heart is frozen, the water is rising and I'm just a drop in the ocean. Falling, slow motion. You're a tsunami and I'm just a drop in the ocean. I'm reaching you, I'm loving you. I'm reaching you, I'm loving you. Pick me up and pull me down, hold me up so I don't drown. Got your head up in the clouds, nothing left of us now. Your heart is frozen, the water is rising and I'm just a drop in the ocean. Falling, slow motion. You're a tsunami and I'm just a drop in the ocean. I'm reaching you, I'm loving you. 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 Stop. The memories flood in my head, just like the waves, babe, we were endless. Drowning in your eyes, pull me in your tide. Do you still remember all the shit we used to do? The drunken walks at 2 a.m. in high school. Slipping away before your eyes are right into the night. It feels better when you're frozen inside my mind. Till the clock runs out of eyes on you. When the sun goes down, it's just too soon. Won't you take me away? Oh, I can't refuse it. Give me slow before you lose it. Will it last until tomorrow? It's fading now, I don't know. When you're young and wild, there's still our eyes on you, they're watching over. Keep your composure, be your controller. Circle round and round we went, could you take me home again? Fireworks all in your eyes, telling me that it's alright. Till the clock runs out of eyes on you. When the sun goes down, it's just too soon. Won't you take me away? so don't leave me alone. La 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 la, don't leave me alone. La 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 la, don't leave me alone. I know it's reckless, but I don't care. You're dangerously close and I keep going on. You keep me fading, and I don't care. 'Cause I want everything that I've been running from. Every time I fall in it deep, and I can't fight it, I can't fight it. You wreck my mind, I'm losing my sleep. And you know that it's all that I need, so don't leave me alone. La 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 la, don't leave me alone. La 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 la, don't leave me alone. La 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 la, la 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 la, don't leave me alone. La 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 la, la 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 la, don't leave me alone. La 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 la, don't leave me alone. La 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 la, la 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 la, don't leave me alone. Even now, you're coming up to me, fire lighting up the sky. Feel the ground shaking underneath, trying to take me alive. Get ready for the fallout. Can't stop me now. I got no rival. I'ma find my way.
Alright, everyone. We should be live now. You're able to hear me. Sorry that. Sorry that took a while. Said my mic was no good, but it says it's good. I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, we're playing some Diablo 4. I gotta turn this down on my end. Normally I would stop the music now, but I'll be honest with you guys. And nothing against the music that they put in Diablo, it's pretty solid. But the way that I tend to play these games is I have my own music, usually something really upbeat or so forth that I listen to. And by upbeat, I just mean like up-tempo. Like metal is pretty good. I don't listen to, I was going to say most metal. I like metal as long as they don't really scream too much in the vocals. So I am a bit choosy with my metal, but I like harmonic stuff. I should have started the cue sooner, sorry, but I don't want to start it like too soon. I guess I could have just had it in the background while I was doing stuff, sure. But it's okay. And if this doesn't work, I'll just change the stream. I'd rather do my Diablo recording. It's pretty solid. It's getting some flack for its cash shop at the moment, and you know what? I'm not going to defend the cash shop. I'm not going to pick on it too much because, yeah, at the moment it's just cosmetics. If it stays that way, sure. But the cosmetics are stupid expensive. The major benefit is that they don't look better than the outfits in the base game. So I haven't felt the need to purchase them. But we'll see. The thing that I'm most concerned about for the long-term health of this game is the battle pass system, which I understand is implemented in other games, but like, god damn it. This is a full-price game. I get that it's implemented in other stuff too. Hey Dunstan, sorry for like the immediate negative. Let me just say, I'm super adoring this game. It's just, I am concerned about the monetization. That's all. But that's mostly what the reviews are slamming the game about. The actual core gameplay is pretty damn solid. You can barely hear me. Okay. Turn down the game on YouTube. Go do that. Alright, you're going to see what it is, but that's whatever. And we'll do this. I can't really turn up the mic too much. Alright, how's that sounding there, Dunstan? Can you hear me better? Over the music for sure? Testing 1, 2, 3. Heck, I can listen to it on my own too. Oh, that music was well. Testing. Alright, that is better, but I feel like I'm going to turn it down a little bit more too. Because it's still a little bit too loud for my liking. More like there. Okay, that should be fine. And I can always turn it up on my end. How are you, buddy? Have you had a chance to play this game today? Because this is quite the queue. I am not shocked. I lived through it is a long yeah. The first time I logged in, it took like 5 minutes. Gotcha. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. Now that the game is out to the general public. Look at me with my 2 drinks here. Mountain Dew voltage, just because I was feeling a voltage. I haven't been doing caffeine as much recently, but I wanted to do some. Just enjoy my summer. And water, because staying hydrated is important. Guess I got to level 19 and I'm finding a lot harder than the beta. There we go. I know what... You're still playing your Barb, right? Barbarian got nerfed hard. So did Werebear Druid, but Werebear Druid got nerfed in its Shockwave skill, which I have not unlocked yet. Because it's, what's technically their Pulverize is Shockwave, but in order to get the Shockwave aspect of it, it's gear. So one of the things about the Druid in particular is the Druid is super dependent on gear, as opposed to, like, even the other classes. And I have to agree 100%. Barbarian's also another one that's pretty gear dependent though. And they nerfed the gear that was for the Whirlwind build. Though, I'll be honest, looking at the changes that they made to the Shockwave skill, and people can complain about it, and I get it. But I also understand why they made the changes. Because basically how Shockwave worked is it does a percentile of your actual damage for Pulverize in the Shockwave. And the way that they originally had it, it was anywhere from like, I think 80 to 150% of the damage. So you would just up the damage of your Pulverize. The thing about Pulverize, though, This Pulverize already does a stupid ton of damage. Because I'll show you, I have 748 life. And let's see, can I store my stuff here? I'm trying to find a map. I got used to playing this on controller, but my controller's acting up. I just ordered a new one because I was like poking around. I tried to fix it on my own. Not working super well. Looked into what else I might need to get to help fix it. Like a BW100. And it costs around as much as the controller. And I know getting a new controller should fix the problem. I mean, it's a cheaper controller, so that's always... yeah. I didn't like that skill. I'll never use it no matter if it is the best skill. The earlier loader was fast. Maybe it's the hour. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, honestly, that wasn't too bad, but I also lived through... I lived through the Endwalker launch for Final Fantasy XIV. Whew. Those were long loading times. I honestly didn't think that was too bad at all. I mean, we're in-game right now. I came here because I wanted to store my stuff. We'll see how this runs, because it still kind of stutters on my end. Not too often, but enough. That we'll see with it, me streaming, how that impacts performance. But there we go. Put all my gems in my stash. As you see, it's the only thing I have in my stash. I just never tend to save the loot. I mean, I don't see much of a point. If you get something really, really cool, sure, but... I mean, whirlwind. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. That's fair. I'm not going to lie to you. I like whirlwind as a skill. Like, in general. I use it in a lot of games. But to each their own, too, right? The thing is, being able to spam the explosion aspect of it, I could see why they're like, nah, that needs a rework. And Pulverize, okay, what they changed is instead of being able to do 150% of the damage, it now only does 100%. And I'm not going to lie to you, that's still pretty solid. I heard Werebear damage tapers off in endgame content, but that was also earlier guides. And everything's through the roof. People are figuring this game out. And also, they've just been changing things, so who knows at the current state. I will say, at this point, the damage capability of Pulverize is nothing to sneeze at. The only issue with it, right, is that... yeah, we'll do that. I like this one. The only issue with Pulverize is that it is dependent on Overpower to really do its damage, and that's the Werebear in general. Oh. Whoops. Oh. Yeah, I unlocked two. Why is that not looking like a wolf? Oh, because it's my spirit. Okay. But I get like 10% of my maximum life as that. Fortify. I guess I could go over my build. This is clearly not a starting character. There might be spoilers. I know you've sort of dabbled around there before Dunstan. So I think you got farther in the beta, but I'm not sure. But of course things are changing in the beta. And I know the story in the fourth game is actually pretty well developed. So just be forewarned, I'm not sure. I haven't focused much on story. I've mostly been doing side content, so I'm not super far in the story. But the Werebear, most of its damage comes from an overpower mechanic. So it's combining the fact that the Werebear can fortify you pretty easily. Like you can see here, that's 22% of my base life, which combines with this, which is anytime I use a defensive skill, I get 10% fortify for my base life. So that's 32%. In addition to that, I also have this skill, which increases the fortify amount. Now this, I at first thought it was of my max life because all the other skills were like that, so, but it's not. So it's just 10% of what I would be gaining from here. But let's see. 22, so that's 136, and 32 is whatever. And these numbers are not accurate because I get more health as soon as I shapeshift into the bear form. I get 10% more health because of this passive here. I don't know, I guess I could go over my build. I personally like stuff like that, but I also understand that people just like the high octane action. Well, I'll leave it up to you, Dunstan, because you're sort of the viewer here. Do you want me to go over my build, or do you just want me to start kicking monster butt? Is there something else I can do in town? It says my attack power is 841. But just to go over the gist, the werebear, most of its damage comes from the overpower mechanic in the game, which does additional damage with attack based on your health and your fortified health amount. I think the barbarian might have skills like that too. It definitely has fortify as a mechanic. That's sort of the tanking mechanic. Which to me was kind of lackluster up until around level 30. I know, that's like, dang. Admittedly, story-wise, I'm not that far in the game, but that's still pretty far in the game, level-wise, before you're like, okay, this is really decent. But that's just because, like, I feel like, and I'm admittedly playing on veteran, which is the hardest I can do right now. But the enemies do more damage than even other iterations of Diablo. But I feel like that's partially because you have like a dodge that you can do. I need to relearn how to play because I've been playing on controller. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Honestly. Rebinding time. Controls. Right, because 3, 4, like, okay, that's not too hard to hit. Is there a run? No. Town portals T. That's good to know. Okay, so it's not too hard to hit, but I have these buttons here, right? So now it's just 1, 2. Now what's healing potion? Q. Okay. So I don't really want to change that. Okay. Disable. So now it's 1, 2, mouse 5, mouse 4. That's more my playing style. That allows me to just keep here without having to do like that. Have you killed any raid? Nice, do what you have to do, gotcha. Have you killed any raid? What? So, have I done a raid? I don't think so. Like, I'm level 35, I'm not sure if I could. That's not what I meant to say, but it is what I said. I might be able to, but I don't know. I haven't found any. I've done challenges. I don't think that's what you're talking about. And I've cleared some of the strongholds, and oh boy, clearing the one I did was tough, but I was able to do that solo, so I don't think that counts as a raid. Okay, I want to explain my build, because I like that personally. You know, start off with the basic werebear skill, because obviously, but it allows you to fortify for 2% of your life. So I thought with my passive that I mentioned earlier, that was doing like 2 plus 10, so 12% of my base life. It's not. It's doing the 2%, and then from that 2%, it's adding an additional 10%. So whatever 10% of 12 is, it's around 1, so it's around 13 life, which is pitiful, but it's also the basic attack. But it has a chance to knock down targets, which that's actually really great. It has saved me in a lot of tanking situations where I just knock down. Doesn't work so well against bosses. A lot of the bosses are just kind of immune, or the it might lower the chance. But like against elites and stuff, I just keep knocking them down, and they can't do shit. But I just build up my cooldown, so then I smash them. Also, well, we'll get to that later. But yeah, that shows the ruins I have on this. Pulverize. Okay, I don't have the thing that allows them to stun. But instead, it will overpower every 12 seconds. So this is sort of the bread and butter of the werebear tree, because it's where most of your damage comes from. Overpower in general is where most of your damage comes from, because again, it does bonus damage based on your health and your fortify. So you build up a lot of fortify. I can easily do like 1500 damage with it, which is looking at my life, and I have decent life. I don't know if I have the most life. I've been building for it, kind of. Like, I don't over focus on it. I throw it on for things, for sure. But I also like to have damage reduction during fortify, because again, I get fortified a lot. And also just like damage reduction, increasing my physical damage and so forth. I'd say like armor is sort of like one of my high priorities, and life is sort of like second and third. Damage reduction while fortified, etc. And just building up fortify itself is also a big focus. But going back here, AFK a few minutes. That's okay. Nice. That's okay. Nice. I don't know what I was trying to say, but it's like, you do you. But you got the pulverize as the bread and butter, because it does the overpower every 12 seconds, and yeah, like 1500 damage. Otherwise, you're kind of doing pitiful damage as the werebear. So it's mostly just surviving long enough to overpower them, and then you overpower, and it's like, ooh. But also, my pulverize makes it so they do 20% reduced damage. Which, yeah, it's more spammable than this one, because this one is like only guaranteed every 12 seconds. Overpower does have a base chance that you can never increase. 106.4% of my life in fortified, which is like, I have around 800 when I'm in werebear form because of a passive. So yeah, that is nothing to sneeze at. But overpower chance 3%. That never increases or changes, but it does technically mean I have a 3% chance whenever I attack stuff to overpower them. I've never noticed it though. I mean, that is like super low. That's very rare. But predatory instincts increases crit against close enemies. It's sort of whatever. I got that, as you can see, only 1 point into it, to gain the damage reduction. I do want to focus on this a little bit more because of my spirit boons, just to prevent jumping back and forth. I'll focus on my abilities for now, and then I'll show my spirit boons later. But mostly got it for Iron Fur. I got this like early on when I couldn't get other forms of damage reduction. Hit caps at 9%. It's not super great, but it's always going in werebear form, so I feel like you just get this one, like a point or two. I feel like I might throw in the final point here in a second, but don't prioritize it, like maxing it out, because you want the other ones, because like here, that's like 20%. That's very much higher than anything, but it's like, now these two combined is like 29%, so that's what I'm getting for, well, 26% in my case. But I got that just because base, the werebear is not more survivable than anything else that the druid has going on, so it's kind of nice to increase the survivability, make them tankier. I recently got this one, and I might refund it. Sort of got it for this. It's not a huge need to get vigilance for my build though, because I have debilitating roar, which is 70% damage reduction. And this one, kind of important to throw in a few points. Like, as you see, it's not maxed out for me, but I actually did put more points into this sooner than later, just to get that cooldown down. This is a really nice way to build your fortify, because it's 22 base life at base, and then like anything that you have on top of that. So yeah, this is sort of like one of the big moves I get to build my fortify. It also heals me 4% of my maximum life. It actually heals me more than that, and I'll show you later on. I got this because it's just jumping back to the other passive. It's still nice to have any form of damage reduction, and admittedly, it scales with other things, but at 5% is not super high. Like, I could put another point in this, but I mean, admittedly, that's only like 3% more as opposed to this is like 5. So, again, it's more of a worthwhile investment. But this is like everything, and this is just specifically non-physical. But the thing is, your armor impacts non-physical resistances lower, so it's still kind of nice to have this as the werebear to up what is one of the weaknesses. For the companion skills, Wolf actually doesn't synergize well with the rest of this build because you don't really immobilize or slow them. You occasionally do stun them, so there's that. But well, unless you get this perk with Pulverize, you're not stunning them as consistent. I guess it can. Looking at it now, it can work better, but when I got it, my damage output wasn't enough to let the wolves live. And it's decent singular target damage, but I just found that vines work so great. Another thing though is ravens, because ravens increase your crit chance, which is important for the spirit boons, which again I'll get to. But yeah, I definitely went with Poison Creeper because it's good for crowd clear, especially when you can get access to it. But even now, it's one of the moves that I do for crowd clear because it does 2 rounds of poison damage, admittedly over 6 seconds. But yeah, and it immobilizes them, so you just freeze them in place and you can pulverize them. So I feel it works really well. I mean, you could technically skip it, maybe focus on these other things a little bit more. But I personally wouldn't. It still works really nice and requires very little investment. I did get all 3, so immobilizes for 1 second longer and does more poison duration just again to milk a little bit more of that damage out of it. And that's like really all I need. I don't feel like I need to invest anything more in that. That's why I feel like it works well for the build. Oh, hello. Trample. As you can see, I pretty much just focused on the werebear stuff, so. But Trample is still nice because of that Fortify again. That's 20, which with my Spirit Boon perk, that's 30%. So just get that with the Fortify and Roar, and that's pretty much almost 100% Fortify rate there. But this also does 150% bonus damage, which I mean, it's okay. One of the best things about this move, though, and that gives them 4-5, is that you just become unstoppable, so you're immune to crowd control, and you can break out of a lot of crowd control with it, so you keep yourself from being surrounded. And it builds up your Fortify. But, as we see here, I have Mending, which pairs well with what I got for this, which heals me. Because now I receive just a flat 10% more healing from all sources. I feel like you could get away with 1 point, but 2 points I feel like is a nice mix between an investment into it and getting the most out of it. I don't feel much of a need to invest more than 1 point into it, but I might if I have an extra point, I don't know what to do with it. But this one I'd say is crucial for any werebear provocation, which allows you to overpower. It starts at 30 seconds and then it decreases down by 5 seconds for each point you invest into it. And werebear damage is completely dependent on overpower, because you don't really build. I mean, the damage is here sort of like, but especially compared to the other classes. But with overpowered, it's like really good. So like, for example, not for example, but like this 150% bonus damage, and then combined with overpowered, this becomes just ridiculous and so forth. Overpowered allows this Pulverize to do like 1500 damage at my point in the game. Obviously that'll increase, but that's still nice because I have like 800. So in theory I could one-shot myself. I do have other damage reduction, but that would still not feel very nice. So yeah, overpowered is nice, and you basically just want to have overpowered on your character. And the only way you can reliably do that is with this passive, and if the skill allows it, but there's no other skill that does. You do have a passive 3%, which I showed earlier, but yeah, I can't count that on that. Now for my ultimate, just going in line with everything, I still just focused on the werebear stuff. I could see some of these other ones being kind of neat. Knocking back enemies, I'm not sure I'd want to super do as the werebear. But this is just a stun, which you could combine with other things. But I did the Grizzly Rage, which I heard was decent. Kind of disappointing to me because you don't look that different. And, yeah, I mean, like, you do more damage, you get fortified, so you become tankier. So it's still nice, but you don't look that different, so it doesn't feel like much of an ultimate. You become unstoppable as long as you invest more points into it, which I did. And you get the passive fortified at this point, which makes it... It's still nice. And you do end up doing more damage, which... without overpowered, the Grizzly, or the Werebear damage is pretty pathetic. So, any more damage is still nice. So it's not bad, but in terms of ultimates, I think I would prefer these other ones more, but this still works with the gun. But these ones are so good, these passives, because this just increases your fortify amount, so you just get fortified faster, which is crucial for the bear. Anytime I get hit, I just have a chance to fortify. Again, that synergizes with that, and then you have this, which is like it's stunned or whatever. Guaranteed fortify, and it's a decent amount. Well, 6%, so it's not great, but again, synergizes with that. And then there's this one, which reduces crowd control by 3%, and you can up that. But like the triple, and you're pretty much always fortified over your 50% of your max life of this build, so you pretty much always get that triple effect, so that's really nice. And for the key passives, obviously, because it's completely focused on the werebear, just do the one for the werebear. So now I get 20% more life, which is what pumps me up from like 700 to like 800 or close to 1,000. In addition, when you're healthy, so above 80% life, you do 30% increased damage, which on other characters that would be easy to lose, but the werebear has so much life that like that even that 20% is a lot. So and then you just do more damage, which is again nice for the bear because the bear doesn't do a whole lot of damage on its own. But then you combine that with overpowered, and it's pretty damn good. And for my spirit boons, I was originally doing wariness, but I actually found that thorns. I have a thing that gives me thorns, so this in addition, I actually do 137 thorns, sorry. Which is like, actually ends up being decent damage. You're not killing things with it usually, but it helps put the pressure on. Especially since your own damage is kind of less. I actually like that a little bit more than some other things here. And then here, just more life. I thought about the critical strike chance, or the attack speed, just to have my basic attack hit faster to build up fortify. And the critical strike, because that synergizes with the snake, which allows you to get 3% of your maximum life. And that's why I was talking about how ravens are like upping your crit chances, the werebear can actually be very beneficial to the build. With that said, I feel like this should be reworked, because this is supposed to be for both the werebear and the werewolf, but the werewolf gets more of a benefit from it, because the werewolf has a shit ton of things to up their crit chance. The werebear is more built around the overpowered mechanic. Like, just have it heal the same amount, so it's not like based on the amount of damage that's being done, because overpowered does stupid amount of damage. But just have it proc with overpowered too, and then it would feel as beneficial to the werebear as to the werewolf, in my opinion. But it's still nice to have, especially like everything else on this tree is just not for shapeshifting at all. So, and I went with the maximum life because just upping my strength. You get so much life, and now I just get so much more life. That, yeah, and then that makes it that my fortify amounts are just so much higher, and then and not that fortify gives you more life, but what does that do? Nothing really, because it's like percentile, and it's fortify is like when the gauge is higher than your total health, then you reduce damage by 10%. So it really doesn't help with the fortified aspect, but just having more life in general just makes you tankier, of course. And the other things, which I already showed earlier, fortify for 10%, so that just with my defensive skill really helps make it so I get fortified pretty much like in the first few seconds of the fight. And this one, Calamity, to up my ultimate skills, just to kind of eke in a little bit more of the Grizzly Rage, but the major benefit is Grizzly Rage does more damage the longer it's active, so that just really helps get more damage out of it. Which again, this build, it has burst damage with the Poison Creeper, it's pulverized and overpowered in general, but otherwise than that, comparatively speaking to the other classes, isn't a whole lot. But the burst damage is still nice. Let's see. Energize. This could also be a good one to just build up spirit, but I feel like, I feel like these two are still the best. The only thing is, like, I might like do this one for the crit chance, or this one for the reduced damage against elites, or crowd control, because even though I have ways to reduce crowd control, that would just add to that, and crowd control is the thing that will get you killed with like any build. But the bear, yeah. If you're just knocked down and you can't build up your fortify or whatever, then you're just kind of like that. And yeah, I already showed that one. I have to use the restroom, so I will be right back. And I'm pretty much talking about my build. That took longer than I was expecting, though.
Pero voy a draw the line. Que yo ya sé que de ti I got to stay away, got to stay away. Sé que como un trofeo quieres tenerme, pero I don't need no one. Que yo ya sé que de ti I got to stay away, got to stay away. No, 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 baby, no, 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 no setbacks. No, 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 baby, no, 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 this time. You broke my heart once again. I won't find it just in return. I can't give in, I can't give in, I won't give in this time. You broke my heart once again. When you bad, but you're bad for me.
And I am back. Right before I jump back in, I'm going to just select some more NCS music, just because copyright things and such. I don't want to have it change to something else. Let's go back. I'm not finding another mix. Yeah, this might be good, but it may not be. Okay. I'll give it a shot anyways. It says that it's part of the NCS. The channel is not one that I recognize, but it does have the no copyright sound thing, which is what I'm looking at specifically. Welcome back, Dunstan. Here. There we go. I'm just about done explaining my build. It took way longer than expected, but I won't show every one of my items. It's mostly just increase physical damage or things close to you, or increase damage reduction to things close to you. But I will show my unique item perks. This barrier one, still decent. I probably won't always keep it as part of my kit. Just making sure. Okay, probably won't always keep it as part of my kit. It's good to build up your fortify. It is currently bugged, and I did report it on the forums. Because instead of just damaging an elite gives you a barrier, you damage anything, and it gives you a barrier. Which actually sucks. Because, like, if you're breaking loot containers and stuff like that, you get a barrier, and you don't need it. And then when you actually need it against, like, a boss, like you actually wanted from the beginning, it's on cooldown, because it's a pretty significant cooldown, 30 seconds. So, hopefully that gets fixed. This one, I recently just got. I like it. It heals me 6 life per second for each close enemy, which obviously I'm a tank, so I'm in the thick of it. I have a lot of close enemies, so I just get same life regen, because that's only 6, so it's not like based on my max life. But still, in conjunction with all my damage reduction, so I'm not getting hurt as much, and then I just heal it back up. Again, I probably won't always keep it, but for now it's nice. And then this one, which is basic attacks. Basic skill is 24% attack speed, which is just nice, because again, my basic skill builds up fortify. Not a huge amount, but it's useful for keeping my fortify. And also, just more DPS, because I need DPS so much. Here we go. Now we're finally ready to go back into stuff. Why am I running this way? There's nothing this way. There might be things down, but I also have some side quest over here that I got for ages ago and have not done, so fuck it, let's do it. But, wait a minute, your character didn't carry over there, Dunstan? I know it said that it wasn't supposed to, excuse me. But it looked like some of the people had characters that carried over, because I played right after the game launched, and there were some people who were level 30. I do like me right as the game launched, so I'm like, there's something there. Alright, so there's supposed to be something here. Final. Let's do this one. I mean, why not? We're right here, right? Well, I'm here now. I'll think about this, because maybe I do want to change. Calamity's nice, but I'm not built around, like, the ultimate, right? It's just sort of there. It's still nice damage reduction when I, like, need it the most. I feel like that's ultimately why I'm going to choose it. I mean, these other ones, this, I don't have a whole lot of crit strike or reason to build for it, besides getting life back. But still, there's other things I'd rather build for. And that's only 5% increase critical shake, which is nice, but, man. Again, since I'm not building for it, it doesn't really get up to a point that would be advantageous. Sort of like the difference between 5% and 10%. It's still rarely happening. This could be nice to have. This could be really nice. Even though I have a lot of way to, like, get rid of crowd control. Well, I have one way to guarantee it, and then I just have reduced crowd control in general. But this would play into that strength. I still feel like Calamity's nice. The other ones are sort of whatever. Oh, there we go, we got the rune stone. I just had to search stuff. I need to remember to use potions. I constantly forget that potions exist in this game. Sweet. I don't actually care what you gotta say. No offense, the dialogue's not that bad, but every quest, there's a lot of side quests. So. Oh no, problem with the server, retry. Sweet. Okay, now I'm back in. Oh, that says only one person. I probably scared them away talking about my build, which is fair. But that to me is interesting. So, and I like getting into the behind the scenes stuff. So, I did it for people like me. There we go. Alright, I need to remember how to play on mouse and keyboard because, like I said, I've been playing on not mouse and keyboard. It's not that bad. It's just that I'm used to like WASD controls, so I tend to have that hand posture, which I don't really need in Diablo. Get wrecked! 1300 damage and I don't even have max whatevers. There we go. Get wrecked, fools. 1600 damage! Oh, he made me vulnerable. You get wrecked, punk. I'm so used to playing on controller. It actually plays decent on controller. I don't think it's necessarily better than, what is it, mouse and keyboard? I just don't feel like it's worse. Navigating the menus is a little bit better on mouse and keyboard. But that's about it. I killed him with Thor's damage. I do have decent Thor's damage considering how much I kill this tank. Get wrecked, you stupid bastards! I also have an ability so I regen life when I'm just out and about. And because I have a passive that whenever I'm in rare bear form, I regen more life. Those things are just like really good. It took me a while to feel tanky enough with this build for like the damage that it does. And I get it. Like, I'm doing good burst damage. It's just compared to the other builds, right? And the damage outputs that they can do consistently. Yeah, that's really it. You son of a banshee! You think you can just stand over there and shoot me with arrows? I'm fortified, motherfucker! And now I have a barrier, so you can't do shit to me. It's a really strong barrier because it's like based on my life, maybe. I actually don't think it is. So yeah, I'll probably like definitely decrease in usefulness as I level up. Well, yeah, but I would get a more powerful version of it if I wanted to. I'm not sure if I'll keep with it. It's not bad. I love just being able to knock them on their ass. Look at that. Died. Like I said, that perk for the attack has come very useful in many tanking situations because I just kind of slap them around until I build up my cooldowns again. And again with that overpower. Whew. Give me the potion. I don't need the potion. I'm just psychologically, like, I see loot, I'm like, give me loot. I'm absorbing everything from you, you stupid bastards. Now I'm fortified again. 2,000 damage! Get fuck. Why did I do that? I don't know. I love Diablo. They did a good job with this one. Besides the cash shop, and I am worried with the monetization, but let's not get into that. At launch, it's not terrible. It's just the fact that it's sort of there at launch that's sort of not great. And I'm worried about the season-based gameplay because, for one, I game hop, so like you earn enough in a season to not have to buy the next season pass, but I don't want to play that much. I just know me. I'm enjoying it now for sure, but it's also sort of why I don't want to do a full series on this. Back again! Thanks! Oh yeah, hey, thanks! Thanks for coming back, Dunstan. How you doing, buddy? I'm slapping fools around. Teaching them manners. You know, this Banshee thinks that she can just yell at me. Which is like, why, right? I dodged! Hey, it's another druid, buddy. How do I do the menu? I don't remember how to do the menu. Let me see. The music, not my forte, but it's just there in the background. And that's all I need. Something to get me pumped for killing druids. What am I looking for? Options. There we go. Controls. This is very important, people. Action wheel is E. There we go. How do I navigate left and right? How do I navigate? If I do that, that's weird. Oh well. Works. Good enough. Give me that lethal strine, and now I'll just get more life back because every time I do critical hits, I get life! Ha ha ha! Get wrecked, you dumb bastards. So, I just feel like, as other people have been saying, the issue, or the thing about druids, is that they're just very gear dependent. So, that's all. Once you have decent gear, the build is fine. I don't even have Shockwave, which was the build for werebears. And I could see why. I don't think it's bad that they lowered the damage. I'm sure it feels terrible, especially on higher difficulties, to have that damage lowered when you were used to it. I was not used to it. I feel like Overpowered does a lot of damage on its own. I feel like just doing 150% more damage with that, but yeah. Probably not what the developers were intended. Because, honestly, I feel like this game is just more balanced for multiplayer in mind. Like, the Butcher, I feel needs a rework. Kind of a hassle. I say that, but now I'm soloing stuff fine, and with my other characters, since the get-go, soloing stuff hasn't been too bad. Soloing stuff as the werebear at first was awful, but part of that was I didn't have items, and like the way that it tanks and stuff just yeah, I kind of just wasn't used to, and I just didn't have the stats and stuff for it. Because it doesn't start innately that tanky. You sort of have to build for it too. But it does become tanky later on, because sort of like how it does damage is built around the fact of its tankiness. So if you didn't invest into mostly the fortify stuff and having increased life, you won't be doing as much damage with the werebear skills. So it's sort of like that synergy is so important that you innately end up building a character that's sort of tanky. Ha! Take my vines! Which I like the vines. I always have, even in Diablo 2. But they're more useful here. But it feels more like an entangle spell than it does feel like I have this little vine companion. Most of the companion skills feel that way for the druid. The only one that feels like an actual companion that's on your journey is the that life regen. It's nothing to sneeze at. Stop hitting me with your dank memes. I'll hit you with my dank memes. Look at that. The dankest of memes. You were with a friend today and the butcher owned us. because of like a recent update for YouTube or whatever, there's now a heart next to all the messages. So I just see your message. I was with a friend today, and the butcher owned us with a heart. But yeah, no, totally. The butcher. The major thing about the butcher is that the butcher does really high damage, which I even felt that with my tanky character, which admittedly at that point I felt a bit of a lackluster tank, but I feel like that's just two things. This is sort of more balanced for multiplayer. I still believe that. And what was I saying? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I didn't have the items either, too. Why did it stop mid-animation? I don't know. Die. Oh my goodness! You can't kill me, I'm too powerful. But yes, the butcher, I feel, its major issue is the amount of damage it does and the hit radius with its weapons just doesn't mesh well for a fun fight. Like, you might be able to do it solo. Ranged character, definitely easier time for sure. But you can only dodge for so much. I feel like that's part of the difficulty in this game, is that they gave you a dodge. But you'll run out of dodges, so you can't dodge everything, obviously. But the thing with the butcher is its basic attacks, which it can spam. They're pretty fast. They hit like a truck, but you also can't really avoid them on foot. You might be able to with a high enough speed, but he's also a pretty decently quick character. It only gets worse on higher difficulties. And, what am I doing here? I don't know. I started to earn stuff. I like earning stuff. What was it getting? The attack radius is really the big issue. Like, fine, he hits like a truck. I get it. The main thing is to avoid his stuff. You really can't on foot. The only way you can reliably, as any sort of character, is by, let's do this. Oh yeah, now I'm the big badass bear. I don't even need to fear. Ooh, lag spike. Trying to pin me down. Fools! Fools all of you! Oh. But yeah, the fact that he can hit you when you're standing behind him, it's like, where am I supposed to stand? The range ahead of him is significant, so you can't really run that way. You can't run to the sides, and you can't even run behind him without taking damage. So, what am I supposed to do? It's not like a matter of skill at that point. Good to know that it gets hard. It does. I don't feel like the butcher needs to be nerfed per se. I feel like he needs to be reworked for that fight to feel kind of like fun for all builds. I get it. Like, I don't feel like all builds should have the same difficulty of time fighting the monsters, because that's just like part of it. Like, some builds have an easier time with some of the bosses and so forth, and some builds have a harder time. I get that. Like, I fought a werewolf boss. I have fought it with both my werebear druid at this point and my sorcerer. And the thing is, my werebear, no difficulty at all. Because I can just like stand in his face, I could tank most of its attacks. It was doing decent damage at later stages of the fight, but not so much that my heals weren't active in time for me to like negate it with... Oh, I healed. I didn't mean to. I meant to do this one. But that's okay. Healing at that point probably was in my best interest. As in, like, I didn't mean to heal, but I was about to get ready to heal. And you are playing on Veteran, right? Or are you playing on World Tier 1? Butcher's still pretty difficult on World Tier 1. And, like, no judgment here, of course, either way. Just play the way you want. But I'm playing on World Tier 2. So this is coming from that perspective. I just feel like he needs to be reworked for maybe less damage if they want to keep his hit range the same on stuff, or just decrease his hit range, because really that's just like the issue of the fight. That's cool. This is a pretty cool. And with my fan, and I have a cooling pad and everything, it doesn't even really impact my computer. I am trying to keep the amount of stuff downloaded on my computer the minimum. That way, like, less wear and tear on it. The bear is so cool. I'm still having a great time with the bear. And admittedly, the damage, at least now, I was told it lessens as you get higher, but maybe, I don't know. Too much is changing about the game. So what we did know is not right. I even just saw a video earlier today just explaining, these are how the classes work. It was explaining stuff that is super outdated. It's like, that's not how that stuff works anymore. But that's to be expected because it only just left beta. Well, I say that. I left beta a while ago. But it only just got released. And there's the server slam, which was mostly what this game was, so we had that to compare stuff to, but since the server slam, things have changed. I mean, there's like, not a day 1 patch, but a day 2 patch. So basically the same thing. Get wrecked! I survive everything except I almost died to the bear. I didn't though! That was pretty close. What am I doing in here? I don't know. I'm just killing shit. That's Diablo in a nutshell. I like how my character looks. How do you think my character looks through dumb stuff? No, I got stuff that I can look at. How do I compare? Shift. Nah, my thing's better. My thing's still better. The instant chance to execute stuff is nice, but my armor's actually better. I wish I accounted for strength increasing your armor. Excuse me. There we go. I wish I accounted for strength increasing your armor when I showed you the armor stat. It's like, it says this does 10 more armor, but if you look at my armor, 2057, oops, 2040. So it's obviously better because strength increases it. Looks very good. I like the druid uses a cape, right? You need to show me how your guy looks. I saw your video, but I'm not sure. Well, I don't think you kept the same character because I thought you were higher level in your playthrough of the beta and stuff, but I might have misremembered that. That's a bear. The bear didn't want to attack me. Okay, the bear's attacking me. I was about to say bear brothers, but of course, you had to go and fucking ruin it all. That's very aggressive. I just wanted a friend in this cruel world, and you had to be a frickin' dick. Like, don't you know, I am a druid. Not only am I a druid, I'm a druid bear. But then again, bears aren't known for playing well with others. They can act kind of like puppies. I say kind of. I've seen videos with people, like, you know, petting them and so forth. Ouch! Motherfucker! Get wrecked. But obviously you have to, like, grow up with a bear and raised it since a cub. And even then, gotta be careful. Because, like, it's not necessarily that they may even be malicious and trying to eat you, or not even trying to eat you, like attacking you. It's not even that. It's just like, they're big creatures, right? And they, like, know you're probably more fragile if they've, like, grown up with you, but, like, if they just get a little too excited or whatever, yeah, that could go badly. And when you're, like, playing muxing them around, there's a chance it could happen. Gotta kill all the things, cause I'm a bear! I knocked you on your butt. Who's this guy with me? Oh, it's a barbarian. Tomorrow there will be videos for the Diablo. Dude, we gotta play! Like, I know I mentioned that before. I mean, if you wanted to play now, I know you're technically a lower level, but whatever the heck. There's level syncing on this, so we'll be fine. I'm absorbing all the damage. We're probably kind of similar builds. You may be going more like damage barbarian. Well, that's fine. There we go. I don't get like this little yellow thing. It's like poison damage, but I don't get why it's there. It confuses me. Ugh! I think it's there because it's showing, it's damage over time, so it's showing you how much damage you're about to lose, but haven't lost yet, which is kind of neat, honestly. So it's like, the red part is what your life is going to be, but you have a chance to heal up and stuff before then. I guess to me what's throwing me off is I'm just used to Bloodborne. Not that I played it much, but you know. In Bloodborne, like when you take damage and then you have like that little thing where you smack them and then you can get your life back. To me, I see it just like that mechanic, but I don't think it's that at all. Never! Die, everything! I am the unstoppable smack you in the face guy. 770. Alright, that's not bad. But again, that's overpowered. And it would have been better to use my Champion with that, but then again, it would have been killed in that situation. The only thing with Provocation is it triggers whether you want it to or not. So you have to keep an eye on the cooldown, which I can do that admittedly, but... Bear! Try to slap me around, Bear. I'll slap you around. Yeah, that's what I thought. Where am I going? Oh, I'm going back. To the past. To play the shitty games that slap. Hey! It's Sly, my dude. It's nice to see you there, buddy. I'm glad I'm your favorite Uber driver, even though we haven't played Final Fantasy XIV in ages. I kind of wanted to play it the other day, but... without friends to play it, it's sort of whatever. I beat Endlock. So I beat the story. I know there's like the post-game and there will be more expansions, but... I feel accomplished enough with it. I'll probably get the next expansion and so forth, but unless I have more people to like play the game with, I probably won't go back to it. And two, like they announced the expansion and then I'll get ready for it. But also in heart. Thank you. I'm glad I'm your favorite driver in heart. But what am I saying? I'm the best Uber. Let me talk to her. Oh, are we about to save a bear? Yes! I love druids. They're so cool. We're saving this bear. He's my buddy. Don't you die, bear. Dude, I feel you. Friends make Final Fantasy XIV better. That is true. Especially since it's an MMO. So... Bearfuss? Bearfuss. So she was attacked by like a person. Gotcha. And we want to kill this person? I'm down with that. Oh my god, I was playing Neverwinter Nights, which is not the MMO. But Neverwinter Nights is the actual RPG that came out many years ago. I was playing that with a friend. I'm playing a shapeshifter, which you have to start as a druid in order to play. And the Crystal Tower between the base game and Heavenward is such a slog. Dude, the end game for A Realm Reborn was just atrocious. It gets better mostly towards the third expansion, because the second one, there's still the growing pains, but at that point they realized that they're going overboard. And then they severely reduced down on the amount of endgame content. I still feel like it was a little too much, even in other expansions. But it's certainly a lot better than Realm Reborn, because with Realm Reborn it was like, this is the thing! And this is just going to be the thing for a while, so they just kept releasing stuff so like people would have endgame stuff to do, and it got overwhelming. And that's why they changed it, which is great, but they need to cut back on the Realm Reborn stuff. And they did, but not enough. I would play RuneScape with you, Sly. I'm not gonna lie. I started to play it, which Grog mentioned, but I just wasn't feeling it. Nothing against it, I get it. And I played it for a little bit as a kid. And it wasn't bad then. I feel like the only thing is investment, right? Like I'm invested now in some other MMOs and games, so it's hard for me to justify getting invested into yet another one, even though RuneScape is good for what it is. Also, I like classes and stuff, and that's a classless mechanic, and you can't choose your race and stuff like that, which I know, like, minor things. It also came out in early days of internet and stuff, but I love it to death for what it is, but it was just kind of weird. I wasn't super getting into it. I'm ready to go. Let's kill Barefoot. Such a weird name. Like, that sounds like a person who's playing Diablo, like what they would name their character. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm a werebear. I'm Barefoot. Frickin' Barefoot. That's fair, dude. Original RuneScape is a special taste. For the time, amazing. And still not bad now. It's just, yeah, it's hard for me to justify getting into another MMO. It's nice that it's free to play, unlike Final Fantasy XIV. But if you get serious into an MMO, I don't mind the subscription. I feel like it makes the grind and stuff actually a little bit better. Funny, because we were just talking about how ridiculous the endgame grind for 14 is. But compared to some like other grinding mechanics in free-to-play MMOs, it's not. At least like the grinding for loot and stuff isn't too bad. I get it. It's not like the free-to-play stuff make your money, but I'd rather just pay the subscription and have a better gaming experience if I'm seriously invested. RuneScape isn't that bad with its mechanics and stuff, but yeah. Wounded Man. What happened? Well, you are poaching. Why would we spare a potion? Damn! You turned into just a regular ass bear. What? Why can't I turn into... That was a huge ass regular bear, but holy shit! Yep. So Cough crashed when he had me a baby and and 1 hour, 1 life. Okay, so I'm hanging out here until you reboot Spake. Cough. I fucking died with a pie in my hand at 3, 2. Same. So yeah, it was poachers. Yeah, she mentioned that. I mean, he mentioned that to the wrong group of people. It's like, traveler, please save me. I was trying to kill animals, innocent animals, for their furs. Why won't you save me? It's like, no. Oh, a story that I mentioned forever ago. How my friend and I was playing Neverwinter Nights. He decided to kill all the animals in the village. I'm still kind of upset. I need to actually talk to him. I'm not upset that he, like, killed all the animals. Though it was funny because I was a juror. It's like, oh, I can't believe he did that. In all seriousness, what upset me is that he's just impulsive. I love the guy to death. But it's hard to deal with that level of impulsiveness. Listen, he's a bad mom. He crashed, man, okay? That happens. It doesn't make him a bad mom. He's just like, I don't know, dealing with some stuff. Haha! Poison vine. Now you're dead. I like how I said I'm a druid and I'm all about saving animals and I'm killing the trees. Yeah, that's right. We're bear brothers! It finally happened. It didn't happen with that bear brother earlier. He's kind of a jerk. I guess she's the sister. We're bear siblings. There we go. Oh, I keep knocking you on your butt because I can. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, that works. I meant to do that one, but... Bum, 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 bum. Ow! Jerk. I'll punch you until you die. That's this build in a nutshell. I punch you until you die. How do I resort my inventory? That! Okay, these melee weapons, from what I just checked, weren't super great. It's a druid! Oh, he brought bad guys over here. Ow! Motherfucker! It's okay, I understand. Okay, you're good. Now we talk to this lady. Vegan build, I respect that. That's great. Oh look, it's another werebear guy. Yep, total vegan build, that's how druids go. But then again, that means you're harming animals. That's just how life be. We are consumers, so no matter what, we're eating stuff, so... You just gotta accept the circle of life. But in all truth, like, eating animals too just, like, helps prevent, like, worse things. Obviously, you can do it in ways that are better than some other ways. But it helps, like, keep herbivore populations from exploding and so forth. And then just, like, decimating the crops and so forth. And then you just have, like, huge boosts. What is it? Booms. Huge booms and burst as, like, the populations explode and then decline. And, yeah, it's terrible. As long as it's done, like, more ethically. Admittedly, it can get out. But now that's getting political, I don't want to. But yeah, it's nice to see you too, Adam. Sorry, I meant to say that earlier. I don't have a thing that says like the stream or whatever. Not to be that guy. But I will only say it because, I'll be honest, sometimes I forget to like the stream. And then the person's like, oh, if you could please like the stream, that would be greatly appreciated. You don't have to. But if you are liking the stream, yeah, it's appreciated. But, there. Let's see, I have a friend that killed all the NPCs, Baldur's Gate 3 and other games like that. I always tell him, at least wait until I catch the quest in. That's fair. Yeah. I get it. I'm like, okay. I mean, To be honest, my friend would also kill all the NPCs if I didn't tell him not to. He sort of doesn't pay attention to the story, which is like whatever. But then he'll be like, is this person someone to kill? I'm like, no, we're in the middle of town. But then he let like a serial killer get away because I was starting to talk to him. And then he unlocked the chest that it was in. Not chest, sorry, the jail cell that he was in. Because I was talking to him, and he's just that kind of impulsive. I love the guy. He's a great dude. But it is just hard to deal with it. I mean, you get it. Like, at least let me turn in the quest. At least let me talk to the guy. I didn't even finish the conversation. Die, everything. Die, potato. Did I level up at some point? I feel like I did! I totally forgot that I did. I'm just busy kicking butt over here. I'm doing a quest, aren't I? I don't remember anything. That's Diablo in a nutshell. You just get busy killing stuff, but that's the game. Whatever. This is a good one. Different from the other ones, but it feels like an evolution as much of, not as much of like a departure. 3 felt like a departure from the series. Well, I know my friend really likes it. And honestly, playing it again, the mechanics were good. Like, nothing against Diablo 2. I get it, Diablo 2 is a classic, and I feel overall the better game experience than 3. But it is a bit dated at this point. Especially the loot. The bag size was invisible. Like the stream. Our sweet boy knows he deserved it. Thank buddy. But yeah. I will say this, Dunstan, if we play Baldur's Gate 3, I will not kill all the NPCs on them. Also, it's nice that the multiplayer... I know the multiplayer was out for it, but it's nice that it's working. The most fun I had playing Divinity 2, the only other game by Larian Studios that I've played at this point, was definitely multiplayer. And I don't know why, like, Divinity 2 should be a game that I enjoy, and I definitely like aspects of it, but overall how it came together, I just can't super get into it. Baldur's Gate 3 does not have that issue. It has enough of that formula. It's super great, feels like a tabletop role-playing game, which was the strength of Divinity 2. While also I just feel like having a world and setting that I'm more invested in. So, that was just kind of like the thing with Divinity 2. Nothing against the world either, it's just didn't draw me in. Ah! Spiders! Like I was like, spiders, and then I literally squashed them all. I'm doing decent damage now that I focused on my overpower, though. What was I doing for a quest, though? I was like talking to a lady, and then she was like doing stuff. I'm teleporting back to town so I can have a look. But yeah. I think I said thank you, Sly. I might have not. I mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention it again. I'm having caffeine, Mountain Dew Voltage. I'm not sponsored, obviously. I do not have caffeine. Last time I had caffeine was like a few months ago. I won't have caffeine again for a while. I'm drinking this because I like Voltage, not so much for the caffeine. But that said, I'm not used to caffeine, so I'm a little bit wound. I couldn't get into it either. I got further in Divinity 1. That's solid. I need to play Divinity 1. Like, again, the experience of Divinity, great. Feels like a tabletop role-playing game. And I love that. But Baldur's Gate has the setting that I get drawn into. D&D is great, despite all the issues with OGL. And it still has that tabletop feel. So Baldur's Gate 3 didn't have that issue at all. It was just drawn in right away. And it's a nice spiritual successor to the series. Admittedly, plays different. Sort of like Diablo 4 plays different from the other Diablos, but not in a bad way. I like the more focus on like the action and the dodging and stuff, and the way that they do leveling up is a nice mix between like 3, which was like loadout based, and 2, which you actually had to think about your build and stuff like that. Should I do vigilance? That's why I got the point in Astro Fortitude. I got this one maxed out. I have mending. I don't know what to throw the points into. It's a nice spot to be in, because now I'm sort of like adding the frosting. There we go. It took me a while to remember. Frosting to the cake, as opposed to like getting stuff that's crucial to the build. It's nice. I do like this one, which is chance to fortify whenever. Let's see. Trying to cut back on caffeine. On that note, you need a drink. Oh, I lagged, but you started saying vegan stuff. I chucked the light down. You shouldn't feel bad to say like stuff. That's fair. Thank you, Adam. Yeah. I never personally felt bad when other creators did it. And I will say personally, sometimes I just forget to like the stream right away. Because I usually do when I'm watching my friends and stuff. And then they'll be like, hey, like this stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't done that yet. As far as the vegan stuff, I think you misunderstand. Of things, but, like, I ain't that asshole trying to put shit on everyone. Like, did an update so there's a heart in the middle of your message. I think you're a cool guy regardless of you vote me. I'm definitely not a vegan. But yeah, I just get it. Like, people like being vegans or vegetarians or so forth. Again, just like, support anyone what they're doing. I do eat meat. Part of the issue is, like, especially where I live, which is like a colder environment. I live in like Northeast America, so I could not go fully vegan and have all the minerals that I needed year round. It'd just be really hard. And that in its own way is also harmful on the environment to truck all that stuff everywhere. Nothing against people who do it. It's just easier in some environments than others. I could never, though. I like meat a little too much. I'm trying to cut back on caffeine. Oh, yeah. On that note, BRB, I need a drink. Yeah, I did kind of read that earlier, but... Let's see. Oh, what am I doing with my life? I don't know what I've been told. Sound off. 1, 2. And that one's honestly not that bad. I was trying to get this. I do like flat damage reduction over just non-physical, but it's still nice because, yeah, elemental damage sort of being a weak point. You know what? I don't think like I'll invest too much more into this. I will throw another point because I do get life back on critical hits, so it's nice to have that. Let's see, I think a lot of people, they think a lot of shit that isn't true because we have lived of animals or on animals so long. It's programmed to abuse them, so we make excuses, but like, I don't want to try to put my shit on me or explain all that shit. I getcha. So wait a minute. I'm sorry. I do feel like I misunderstand. Are you saying that you're vegan? Because again, yeah, I get that. Oh. What am I doing? Anyway. This helmet says it's better. Well, at least armor-wise. Is it actually better armor? Yeah, it's decently better armor too, but I still feel like that's probably better for my survivability. This is more damage. but it doesn't have that overpowering damage, which is very nice. It's not that much more damage either. But I could throw some gems on it. Nah, I think I want to stay with what I have. I need to go to the blacksmith. But I'm 35, so like I wasn't vegan for the like 33 years, so I gotcha. So yeah, you are vegan. Okay, I getcha. So I can't tell anyone else how to live. That's cool. Where am I trying to go? I know my stepmom was vegan for a while, but then she was having a hard time getting the protein. Because again, the part of the world that I live in, growing seasons are limited, and she lives in a place that is colder more frequently. It's just a little bit farther north. So growing seasons are pretty limited. So you have to sort of like import stuff, and she was, but after a couple years found that it just wasn't working for her. So then she went to just eating chicken and fish. I feel like she's had to alter that slightly because of some issues with her gallbladder, so processing fats. But still mostly doesn't do a whole lot of like meat. Where am I going? Because she grew up on a farm. So she saw the whole process, and she's like, yep, I don't like this. Her parents at first thought that she was just kind of like going through a phase or just being like a kid or whatever. But no, she stuck with it. It's hard to be an actual vegan, yeah. But I get the whole ethical side of things. We really should treat our animals better. Like, all joking aside, it did also sort of bother me that my friend, even though it's just a video game, I get that. But still, I just never have like an inclination to just go around murdering all the animals in a village. So it's a bit strange to me. All the items, I don't eat any of them. I have so much stuff to upgrade things. It's a shame my helmet's probably... But then I'll just convert it into its unique trait, and I'll throw it on something else at some point. It's really nice for survivability. Especially when coupled with the fact that I get a free barrier. Really like how my guy looks. My only issue is he looks sort of like my werewolf. I get them mixed up. I almost beat it into my werewolf. I want people to kill animals and vermin to you, and my sister won't eat mammals now. Gotcha. Pigs are my favorite animals in real life. Pigs are so interesting, and they're like super smart. I'm not going to lie, boars are also pretty scary too. Like, I get it's not... I think it's sort of like... I don't want to say different species. I know boar and pig aren't one for one. But I'm just saying... yeah, like wild pigs and stuff. They're pretty scary. I mean, they're cool, they're interesting, but... oh boy. My friend moved to Texas, and she loved going for walks. But I said, I can't anymore because the wild animals, and she mentioned boars for that too. Still really cool. They're really nice animals, but yeah, I would not want to be charged by a boar. Gotcha. Boar is to a pig as a dog to the wolf. Bush pigs here are all insane. Oh, right, because you're in Australia, right? I only say that because I know, I think it's... why am I trying to blank on his name? Alex. Right, yeah, Alex. Yeah, he like greets us on every stream. It's cool. I think he's from Tasmania. That's the only reason why I sort of hesitant. I get it, they're not the same place. That's why it's like, wait a minute, am I getting the right one here? But I think you're Australia. Yeah, they're almost half a ton, and they're super aggressive. Oh, that's just great to have an animal that's half a ton charging you down. My God. I will say the reputation for Australia is just everything's out to kill you. There's a lot of interesting animals, though. I'm not sure if it's still the case. I read this in a book a while ago as a kid. Let's see. Tasmania. Oh, Tasmania is Australia. Okay. Cool. It's like it's a different place. Man, I don't know. I won't lie, I'm not the best with geography. I'd like to get better. I like other cultures, that's why I'm learning other languages. Mostly focusing on Japanese, but also learning a little bit of Russian. But yeah, that's so funny to me. I joke and say Tasmania isn't part of Australia. Okay. Wow, I'm so lost. I'm sorry. The only thing is, my geography isn't good enough. So I'm just sort of like, is it Australia? Is it not? Is it different? Yeah. Tasmania is an island under Victoria, the state where I live. Okay. I guess that's where I was sort of getting at. I got a joke for you to tell him. Alright. But yeah, like Australia, I read this in a book, like I said, a while back. But they have a... Sorry, I'm focused on Diablo stuff. They have like ants that are a missing link between ants and wasps. So I'm not sure if they're still kicking around, but it's like there's all sorts of like crazy animals like that in Australia. It's like, damn. Okay, tell them Tasmania is proof. People from... Oh my God, I don't even know if I can tell them the joke. Adelaide? Did I pronounce that right? Adelaide. Can swim. And watch them get mad. Oh great, yeah, I'll just piss off Alex. Who's just like, he's such a nice guy. Alright. I'll think about it. I'm not even sure. No offense, I'm not sure if I want to remember. Just because I want to say my memory is the worst. It definitely is like I'll forget stuff. I mean, we all do. I'll try to. Yeah. Adelaide is the capital of South Australia. Gotcha. So then we swam to Tasmania. Holy shit! What the fuck is going on? I know I just got a shrine, but now I'm shooting holy arrows. There's supposed to be something here, but I don't know what. Look, it's a very small window, right? It says right here. But there's nothing here. Oh, I lost the holy arrows, which is sad. I live in Melbourne, the snobby capital of Victoria. Is it actually the capital? No. I mean, I get like the snobby capital, but why am I here? I don't know. Holy shit! Okay. I know I was saying like the werebear doesn't do great damage. It took me a while to get here. I mean, it's decent damage. It's just different from like my sorceress and stuff. I feel like this lack of sustain with the damage is really the issue with the werebear. And also, admittedly, I'm not doing anything, so I don't know how this holds up in higher difficulties. My intuition says it probably just isn't enough or common enough to really sustain you, because they're just doing too much damage to you at that point. We act like... Ah, I'm under attack. Okay. We're better than everyone else because we have a massive Greek and Italian population, so we have some of the world's best coffee and food. I mean, dude, that's a good reason. And we have literally one of the biggest stadiums on Earth. It's bigger than everyone. Oh, look at that. Anything in the US, for sure. In Melbourne? I know of Sydney Stadium. Again, this is me showing my geography knowledge. I'm not going to pretend like... I know it's like a joke that Americans have bad geography. It's very much a thing. But with that said, yeah, I'm not going to pretend it's like I have good geography knowledge. Our main football ground holds 100,000 people. Jesus. Is football big in Australia? I know football is sort of more popular in places other than the States, where we have like our Americanized football. American football is huge in America. Like, there's this whole thing, baseball is America's pastime. I want to say nowadays it really isn't. I'd say, like, American football is definitely America's pastime. To the point, like, we don't talk about, like, ads on, what is it? Baseball's Super Bowl. See, I can't even remember it. I think it's, like, the World something. Yeah, the Melbourne Cricket Ground is way bigger than the Sydney Cricket Ground. SCGMCG. Okay, I'll have to look this up. That sounds interesting. Cricket is a sport I know nothing about. I saw the Game Grumps play a game on it. That's the most knowledge I know. I know there's like essentially bowl the ball to pitch it, and then they like hit it. See, I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I know it can last absolute ages though. Because, like, it doesn't end until, like, one team's clearly the victor. Which baseball's the same. I think there might be... Well, no, the mercy rule is to end it early if one team is so far ahead. And I'm not sure if they do that in professional baseball. I think it's the World Cup. No, it's not the World Cup. I literally cannot remember. See, just to go about like memory and stuff, I cannot remember what the big event for baseball is called. But people don't talk about it in America as much as Super Bowl. Super Bowl is like this big thing. Stores get slammed. We talk about Super Bowl commercials. So yeah, it's definitely more of our pastime. Die, potato. You know, I tend to waste in quotation marks, my passive overpowered on my basic attack, but I don't actually think it's that bad. It would still be better to do it on trample, but trample's better to save for, like, I shouldn't have used by Lord then. I was just going out of habit. Killing trees. Killing trees. That's what druids do, they kill trees. I actually feel bad. I wish, like, I had a passive as a druid to make it so that animals don't attack me as much. But I guess they're demonic animals, so it's a little bit different. But it feels weird to me to be like, I'm alpha nature, it's saving the animals, so that I just, like, run out and I murder a crap ton of, like, bears and... Well, admittedly, it's just like bears, because it's usually like demon wolves or werewolves. I'm gonna kill this wraith. I'm gonna kill the wraith. The wraith thinks he can get away from me, but I'm gonna kill the wraith. I played American football here for a couple years. People talk about Super Bowl more here. Oh, now I'm reading everything backwards. I tend to do that. Let's see. I watch a lot of American sports, or used to. Cricket is massive. It's way more popular than baseball around the world. In India, cricket is bigger than God. Okay. They have a fast mode called 2020 that's played in 2 hours that's super popular. Okay. But the original game, Test cricket, can last 5 days. Oh shit. People talk about Super Bowl more here. And I played American football here a couple of years. Go Birds! Oh man, who are the Birds? I'm sorry, but I'm actually not huge into sports. I like playing them more than I like watching them, which is not to say that I play a lot of sports. It's just the kind of person I am. I like participating and being more active in things than passive. Nothing against watching sports tonight. I watched some football over the last winter. I get it. But again, it's like, just part of me is like, I'd rather be on the field than just like here watching them. Not that I'd be as good as any of them. I still don't know how to throw a spiral. Have you played rugby as well? I actually have a nephew who plays rugby. I know it's pretty different from football, I'm just saying. From American football. Australians love sports more than any other culture. Except maybe how much India love India. That's fair. Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. The Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Wow. That's even sort of nearby where I live, and I didn't even know that. Sort of my favorite football team is the Green Bay Packers. Partially because they have the cheesehead hat, which is just amusing. But also because they give like football stars who are near retiring age but not quite there yet, they give them another chance to sort of do their thing. I mostly did my shout there just to get my life back so I could do more damage. I hate rugby. It's so dumb. Okay. I don't know enough about the differences, but that's fair. Oh, he tried to shoot me. Can you believe that guy? Ooh, there's a bus. Gonna kill the bus. Gonna kill the bus. The boss came over here to kill me, but I'm gonna kill the bus. I like how the boss has less health than his minion. That minion had, admittedly, the increased health marker. The mutator. But, Jesus Christ. Die, potato. Holy shit, 2,000 damage. What the hell is my character on? It's all about that overpower. That tree slapped himself to death. Admittedly, that Thorn's damage, which at first I thought sounded kind of lackluster, isn't that bad. This is such a higher power level. +1 rank to companion skills, not bad. The shrines, okay. Very situational. Cooldown reduction, actually not. It's pretty good for my character. I depend on a lot of things that are cooldown. Though I lose spirit cost reduction, which I also do have a lot of that. I lose flat damage. And crowd impaired. The one that I have is sort of better. The resistance of elements is always going to be good for a tank, but The other things, like, I'd have to invest quite a bit. Well, I just have to kind of invest to get that shrine buff duration thing removed. I'll do it. I use a little bit of consistent damage, but I use my companion skill enough to justify that. It's more armor, but I lose the barrier thing, which I feel is more important. Okay. Rugby. Okay, let's see. Hey, Rugby is so fucking dumb. Boo, Packers. Wow. Unless you're Aaron Rodgers. That's. Rugby is just CTE. I watched rugby one time, got head trauma. Rugby is you just see who gets the least brain damage as you try to take the ball across the line. I think Koth is done. He hasn't restarted the stream. His PC is okay. That's awesome. Thank you for joining me and stuff. I understand you going back and doing that One Life thing. As soon as like Koth restarts all that and stuff again. But it's been nice talking to you. I could see that about rugby. I think it's what my brother liked about rugby. Not that my brother played rugby. I said it was my nephew. It's my nephew who played. My brother sort of likes rugby more, at least in theory, than American football. Because he thinks that American football is just too reserved. You know, I'm not seeing that much of a dip in damage. It was only 2.5%, which is still quite a bit if you're like considering like I'm doing 1k damage. 2.5% of that is a difference. But I am doing probably more damage anyways with creeper skill that I do use frequently enough. And my other skills haven't taken that much of it. Yeah, I'm still at like 1700. Die, potato. Jesus Christ. The amount of overpower that I get is now decent. Do I still feel like it's kind of slow compared to some of the other classes? Heck yeah. Oh, let's see. Man, I got up to 7 a.m. to watch the stream. So now I'm here. I'm not into just getting brain damage for spurts. That's fair. I know there's like a lot to football. I like the game plans that they come up with. It's reminds me of like battle strategies, and that's neat. I get like watching a sport. You're just like watching people who are like super good at the sport do their thing, and that's neat. Why are you telling me to give thanks to a shrine? I tried to, it just doesn't work. I'm searching for Nirella. Goddamn, Diablo has changed from one. Alright, yeah, because you're on the ropes about this. It is very different from one. And with that said, I mean, you were worried if this was going to be your cup of tea. I don't know. I like it. It's different from one for sure. Like, to the point, like, if I was getting the hankering to play, like, one. Well, that's a weird word. I could see people liking both for different reasons. And I wouldn't get, like, the same fix. I was actually thinking of playing one again. I was about to reinstall it. Because I also do have Hellfire. So there's that. Ouch. It's also not the skill I meant to do, but... Stop powering up your minions, you stupid wraith. I won't let you. I'll just slap you until you die. No, I did Rajam. Trap Meteor. But probably just trap teams. But here we go. You got 18 guys. Let's see, Australian rules football is most... I'm sorry, I can't figure out WRA. Raw light sport. You got 18 guys aside playing on cricket ground, so it's a 360 game. You said never played one with the monk? No, I never got the chance. I was always the sorcerer. Even as a kid, not able to figure out the sorcerer. This is Tristan, right? Vision of Tristan. Yeah, this looks very, sort of like Tristan, sort of like... Is that... I think that's supposed to be Deckard Cain. I like the wolf. Don't know what the fuck the wolf is, but I'm down with it. That's sort of weird. Kinda is, but it kinda isn't. Man, it's been a while since I played the first one, too. Let's see. Warlike. Oh, okay, more warlike, gotcha. The monk is really neat. I'd definitely give him a shot. I've always wanted to like monk more than I have. Not that I dislike them, but I haven't given them much of a shot. Like, I want to, but it's sort of, the setting is a little bit strange, because, like, you're doing typical European fantasy, usually. Like, I mean, Diablo, I would say, is like European fantasy, dark fantasy. And then you're, like, running around doing, like, Shaolin monk stuff, which I get is part of the appeal. But there's, like, a mismatch of themes. That's sort of why I've never got into it. Who are you? What did you say about the water? No, because it don't help them. I think this Thane is a demon, but just doesn't like Lilith. I mean, the whole thing about Diablo 4 is it's more like morally gray. Because Lilith... I'll open up the door in a second. I'm trying to find my water, dude. Lilith is a demon, but she isn't in line with hell. We still want to stop her, but it seems like she's not. She definitely doesn't have our interest in heart. It's her interest. Let's see, the monk is really neat. You don't use weapons, you level up and use melee. They explain it well. It makes sense in the lore, but I think you should look into it yourself. He's not the reason, I will say. And they sell it as a quirky crossover. I think it's neat. I mean, I totally agree for you in the time that that game came out, just to have a monk class. Super cool. Baldur's Gate 2 had one, but Baldur's Gate 1 didn't. The Enhanced Edition adds them. Monks, especially in like 2E, early level monks were rough. Like, monks got great later on, because, yeah, I mean, the class tends to be you just punch things. You can use simple weapons, but sort of its biggest strength is punching things. So is, at least in D&D, very level dependent to build up this stuff. But it also, second edition's like, all they do is punch stuff, we need to give them stuff. So we'll just give them a shit other, like, a bunch of other shit. And they get so much stuff, like immunity to stuff. They get, like, paralyzing fists, which is also in other editions, but you get to paralyze people. They have essentially an at-will, like, quivering palm. It may not be an at-will. I may be misremembering that. But they can just instantly kill things. I mean, second edition, not uncommon. A lot of stuff instantly killed you, but monks were just like, and you're dead. It's great. It was because Mortal Kombat was popular. It's an MK Mortal Kombat. Okay. And that's fair too. I don't know if Baldur's Gate 2 was out when Diablo 1 came out. I think so. No, Baldur's Gate 2 I feel is 2000. Why are you telling me this? I mean, that's fair. They were kind of fucked up. I mean, this whole thing about the little girl is because her mom, wanting to find knowledge, consumed her. So she decided to trust Lilith because Lilith has, like, forbidden knowledge. Ends up performing this ritual for her own blood. And then the daughter's like, please stop, you're literally killing yourself. And the mom just freaks out. It's like, you are trying to get the knowledge for yourself. Tries to kill her daughter. Then we had to, like, kill her. That was the time. When you look at the 90s Mortal Kombat monk, it makes sense. Yeah. Again, I like monks. I definitely like martial arts. Like, I love Jade Empire, where you essentially just play a monk. Like, you get to sort of do a little bit different things with that, but at the end of the day, you're a monk. You're just like maybe a monk that's specialized in ki a little bit more, so forth. Hey, lady. I do want to play them in Dungeons and Dragons, and heck, I'll even give them a shot in Diablo. I'll just be honest with you, I don't feel like they would replace my favorite class from the Sorcerer. I like casters. In Diablo 1 especially, that sorcerer got very powerful. Because you didn't get, well, we were talking about this, you didn't get class abilities. I don't think you got them in Hellfire. But you got, like, spells, so the sorcerer just could unlock the most amount of spells. And really that's what makes casters powerful. Depends on the spell list, but some editions, spellcasters can just do anything a martial class can. Like, unlock a door, spellcaster. Need to find a trap, spellcaster. But again, it also depends on the edition and so forth. But Sorcerer and Diablo 1 was that. And part of it, I won't lie to you, is just me as the little kid playing the Sorcerer and not doing well with them. And my brother's going, do another class. And I was like, no. So it's just like part of that mentality of, I will do the Sorcerer well. I definitely play the Sorcerer a lot better than I did as a kid. And I like the spellcasting, and it's very powerful. But I give the monk a shot. Once you punch a hole in your first demon, you get it. Oh, man. Because, how is the gore for the monk? Okay. You do not look dressed appropriately for this weather. I look dressed better for the weather, but my hands are exposed. But I have an excuse, because I turned into a bear. Well, I got all this fur. I'm not cold anymore. But you do not turn into a bear. Whoa! I teleported. Oh, I'm fighting boss. Now everything's doing less damage to me, and I'm building up fortified. Ouch. Motherfucker. Ouch. Stop hitting me with your dank moves. Did I knock that demon down? I sure did. Get them with the 1-2 punch. But yeah, I'm not, what is it, should I say? I feel like this is a solid game, Diablo 4. It's very different even from Diablo 2, which they were trying to move. But not in ways that I feel are necessarily bad. Some of the changes I'm sort of whatever, other changes are like okay. I overall like how this game is made, but also understand it's very different from the first, and the first is great. His flying kick animation that puts holds in beams. Oh. He uppercuts heads off. That's why that is honestly pretty cool. Bat! And slapped the bat. Wow, lady. You took like 50 years. Heck yeah. We must end Horadrim. The only cool one was Deckard Cain. They killed Deckard Cain in the third one. Sorry if that was a spoiler. I should have gave a spoiler warning. I thought about it and I was like, I have to probably knows because I thought you played the third one, but apologies. I should have gave a spoiler warning. They did it because they wanted like to tug at the heartstrings, but just came off kind of weird. Third one's story was not great. Like even the second one's story I sort of just skipped. I'll give the first one's story another shot though when I play it again. Is this the place? I don't need magic, because I have magic. See, look, I turned into a bear. That's the only spell I need. Oh, why can't I smash the door open? Probably because of die. Oh, you killed yourself. Oh man. The werebear is fun. It took me a while to like really feel it. And even still, like the sorcerer, I feel is more my playstyle in this. I mean, I have a few different ones, and the werebear isn't like not my style. I don't tend to do tanks as often. I found a thing. Oh. I know, it's fine. Oh, okay, cool. 3 is not good as an RPG at all. It is not. The only time you actually get to make choices about your character is the end game. Because up at that point, you literally get all the skills. This is sort of a mix. I mean, I think you've seen it maybe. I'm not sure if I leveled up while you were on stream. This is a mix of like 2 and 3, because it's sort of load out, because the only skills you have available are literally what's on your bar, and it's a smaller bar than in like 2. But you have to choose. I don't just like get all the attack skills. I don't get all the runes. I have to invest in them. It's a respec anytime you want system that costs money, and it does honestly get expensive later on. So it's a nice mix between you have to invest and choose a build, but also like say if you put a point into a skill and then you found like, oh, this isn't like my playstyle, it's not working for me, you could respec and so forth. The only thing I don't like about the system is I feel like it lets you early on just not commit to a build, if that makes sense. So like you can just throw points into like, oh, this will just help me level up, and you know very well that you'll just respec it later once you have like the point where you're going to do your build, which I feel like some people will say is a plus, but I feel it's kind of like I don't know. An RPG, you need to make like decisions and like hard decisions and that sort of the thing. And I feel it just kind of like cheapens that. Which is also what I didn't like about the third one. The third one was mostly just fun on console with friends as a couch co-op game. Nope. Why are you so short? Probably because you're a kid. Okay, I'm good. I thought I found the thing. I like ran all the way through here. Oh, what about this? Nope. This is the end of the line. Oh, a book. I thought I collected that. I don't know what I've been told. Pants. Sound of 1, 2. Wow, what a shocker. I do actually like the story in this one, though. A bit weird that they don't have Diablo, but honestly, I'm fine with that. Diablo's been the other three as the main villain. It's nice to have somebody different. And I'm speaking a little too soon. I don't know if Diablo comes introduced. It's also weird because the other ones had like a 4-act system. This has like 8 acts. I feel like to sort of like sell the point that this is supposed to be a bigger game. But the pacing is a little bit weird because it's more like open world and so forth. I don't think it's like bad per se. It's just different. Never. Look, lady. Stand behind me. I'm the tank. My God. You're going to get yourself killed, lady. Okay, I'll talk to you now. Can you open the door? I mean, the thing is... Okay. What was I starting to say? I don't know, I got distracted by stuff. Oh, I did want to say that once we're done this, I am going to call this stream. I'm going for a decent time. Oh, and I also want to say, I'm still going to play this character in my lifetime. I never intended to do this like as a full playthrough, which is also why we're jumping into the metal of the character. But the way that this game is designed, I feel like that works fine. This is a little bit more like Destiny, which like the live service model. I get it. It's intimidating. It's the worst part about this game. But that said, it's more about like, not like open world. It is open world, but that's not what I'm trying to get at. Cuff is back, so I want to hang out there. May have a good stream, a good chat. I may pop in later. That's all good, buddy. It's been nice chatting with you too. And like I said, as soon as I'm done this dungeon, I am going to call it. So if I'm not here, I'll probably be on Cuff's stream though. So either way, I should be seeing you soon. In any case, I will probably end up streaming this some more because I've been really enjoying it. But, like I've said earlier, this is also a game for me, so I'm not going to stop, especially this is my character that I've been going through, so I'm still going to play him. But, while the story is interesting, if you're interested in experiencing the story, get the game and play. I still feel like it's mostly worth it. Not mostly, I do feel like it's worth it. It's a good game. The only issue, and I understand the caveat of this with the live service model, We have to see the updates for the future seasons. This is completely online, so if like stuff goes south, you'll like lose your progress in your character. In the meantime, it's still a nice game. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how future seasons go and how their monetization goes. It's kind of weird that they have it as such, considering the flack that they got for Diablo Immortal. I think that's why they're really pushing the fact that it's just cosmetics, and they might keep it that way. It's sort of out of necessity. We'll see. I'm just hesitant. Oh. I rarely use my ultimate. Just don't need to. Oh, you dodged me? I see how that is. I'll just keep slapping you. Yeah, that's right. Dodge me slapping you in the face 50 times. Eventually, I'll hit you. Man, I have like decent life regen. I need a more powerful version because it's flat. Obviously, it just doesn't scale, so it'd eventually be outpaced. And also, depending on your build, like my build has a lot of health, so getting literally 6 back per second doesn't mean a whole lot when I have 910 health, almost a thousand health. When it's like 52 or 56, that's like K, and that's like half 100 a second. That's decent, but you need to be swarmed by enemies for that to kick in, which again, this build does. So it's still nice, but because it's not percentile, obviously it doesn't like impact the builds the same way. Like as a spellcaster with that, I'd be getting much more life. I still feel like it's nice for the tank though. Oh, I need to reload. Okay, there we go. Oh, you stupid skeleton squirts. This is going to seem like a strange move, but I do have a reason for this. We're going to teleport back to town. I'll take care of my loot and stuff too. The main reason I'm doing it, I need to use the restroom. And you can't pause because this is online only. So this is me pausing. I'll be right back. Sorry, I should have paid a little bit more attention to the music. I did notice that it got a little bit chiller. But we'll see what happens with the pod. It wasn't the NCS company, which I do have on the stream description. This is NCS provided music because legal reasons. So I will say, yeah, I don't know about the lo-fi stuff. It's cool for what it was, but like copyright things, I understand. And one of the things is like, it's not giving proper credit, which is harder for me to do on a stream. I'll mention the video and the description for this pod just to be whatever, technically correct. And try to just give credit where it's due, you know? This is NCS stuff. At least it should be. It said NCS. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Double checking. Yeah, it says NCS. It's got that logo. You should be good. Cool. Put the gem into the plug. But like other things with this being online only, like there's queue times, there's lag, which I've been hit with, and so forth. So it's not terrible. It's definitely hit me. it's kind of sucky for a game that you spend. I didn't spend $100, but I spent pretty much $100, spent $80 on it. And then it's like, here's lag, like the wazoo. I get it. And for me, it's not what I want from Diablo. You know? I don't mind like the more linear style. It's kind of interesting how this opened up for sure. It's just having that over just a game that I know like I'll be able to play for years to come, despite what might happen with its monetization and so forth. No. I'd rather have the game that's like, I know nothing lasts forever, but at least one that is like, I know it's not dependent on servers and so forth. It'd be neat if they offered, they probably wouldn't, like a offline version if the servers do go off, but, you know. I mean, it would be hard to do, I get it. And at that point, it's because the game is underperforming. Ooh, a new legendary. This is stats, that would be great. I mean, the resist is okay, but this is like +9 on the stats. It's also willpower, which willpower is actually really good for me because it's overpowered damage. But I mean, I guess that does have willpower to a lesser degree. Yeah, I was going to say this is stats for a caster, but not per se. The thing about the shapeshifting is that's great, but I don't change form a lot. And so specifically when you change the form, and I'm in the form more often than not. If I was like doing the hybrid shapeshifter build, which is a thing you can do in this, it's neat that they have it as an option. They have perks for it. I don't know how I'd do it, because it's dependent on which skills that you have for which one, like which form you'd need more often and so forth, but there's variety there, so I like that. Now, but that said, I do not have that build, nor do I have one where I'm going into human form a lot. I do use the second skill, which does bring me into human form semi-frequently, so I'd still get some use out of this. But I still feel like the one that I have on is better. I'll probably extract that though. That's a neat. Oh! Whoops. What is this thing? I like how I started the boss fight and I was just like, nope. And they wouldn't let me join the boss fight anymore because I started it but then noped out. Oh, my throat is so dry. It's gotta be the soda and then just talking for a large chunk of time. That's why you have water, kids. Oh, man. Here we go. The head of Lilith. Oh, it's doing damage to me. And also not. I do what I want. Motherfucker. Heck yeah. I'm such a tanky motherfucker. Ouch. Motherfucker. I don't know what's happening. Ugh. Oh boy. What I meant to do. Yeah. I absorbed it. You can't knock me back because I'm an angry bear. Now you can knock me back, bitch. I'm kind of just being an absolute dick to this person. Oh. No. See, this is what I wanted when I was doing this build, right? Ouch. Oh, that's gonna hurt. No, that's okay. I'll use the potion. I mean, that's the only potion I used in the fight, and I may have been able to get away without using it, but I just didn't want to risk using it for this. Not worth it. I literally got it right back, so... Oh my god, this shit feels good! That's what I wanted from the get-go, but there's a lot of bosses that just credit you. Well, early on, oh no, that was satisfying. I do what I want because I am teleporting back to Norrell so I can continue the story. Oh, that works well. But like, I didn't have to really dodge enough there, and I could have. And I should have in some instances. It's just, like I said, I resist a lot of crowd control stuff because of trample. So like the duration of things to knock me back, I could just trample back up to her, keep the pressure on. I wish I could summon a bear as well, because again it would be nice to hang out as a bear pack, which is not really a thing because bears are big animals and it's hard to feed that much. Oh, it's hard for one bear, which is why they're so territorial. But look how big it gets. I mean, you're already smaller than me. God, I'm massive. I found this book. No, this is a terrible idea. You want to have faith in your mother. I get it. But she tried to kill me. She tried to kill us. This is a terrible idea. I do not support this in any stretch. Why am I getting this necklace? This necklace sucks. Like, my God, it's terrible. I did have a friend. She was like the loot in Diablo 4 is a little bit. Well, not that the loot is bad, just how it like dropped is a bit weird. I feel it's probably because while there's level syncing, I'm probably over the intended level range that they had planned for this event. I definitely ran off because it's open world. That's neat. I actually like it with Diablo's fun. This reminds me of Marvel Heroes, which was an MMO. Did not do well for various reasons, but it was a Diablo clone. Well, Marvel Heroes, though, is MMO. This feels similar, but sort of like better, for sure. I didn't dislike it, but it was a free-to-play MMO, which is like, yeah. But the issue was a lot of the heroes that were more interesting. You could unlock for free, but it took a while. And you usually had to pay for them, which is like sort of how those games made money. But that meant that you started as heroes. They weren't bad. It was like the thing, I think the Scarlet Witch or whatever. They intentionally chose heroes, though, that weren't as popular in Marvel to encourage you to buy them. Again, that's not uncommon. But I feel like that, and it was like one that no one asked for. Like, people were expecting more of like, what is it? DC Online, but with Marvel. And that's originally what they were planning on doing, but then they saw DC Online and they're like, oh, we can't do the same thing. So then they made Diablo clone. It's like, they weren't asking for this. So there you go. I'm going to get rid of my stuff. And like I said, we're ending it here. But also, like, I want to keep playing my character. Like, I'll probably play this character here in a bit, in my own time. Like I said, I never planned on doing, like, a full playthrough. I do plan on streaming this again, just because, like, I had a lot of fun. I was able to stream this for an extended period of time. But this is definitely a game I'm playing for myself as well. Playing for myself. And this is my main character. I'm just repeating myself at this point. But yeah. So this will be weird. It's not a full series. It's just like, here, jump on in. But I feel like the way that this game is designed, it works fine enough for this. And also, while there is definitely always going to be a spoiler warning, it encourages you to get the game, because if you want to know the story and whatever, experience that for yourself, you'll have to play the game, you'll have to buy it. Yeah. I look cool. I wonder if I could make myself look more like a bear, dude. But I can do that on my own time, because I don't like. Yeah, we'll call it here. Thank you, everyone who joined in. It was a lot of fun chatting with all of you. It was a great stream. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this bit of the Dragon's Treasure. And if you haven't already, I appreciate if you showed that sub button some love, and pretend the mic is a like and drop it. I don't know, pretend a like is a mic. Sure. I don't remember my outro, man. It's been so long. Stay beautiful. Adios.